Hi everyone, I'm Holly and I'm here to make Mistletoe Kisses soap. This is going to be a new one for our holiday lineup this year. I'm going to add in the coconut milk. Give that a little bit of a pre-blend. And now for the lye solution. And now I'm just going to blend it up. Okay, so I want to pour a little bit off for each of these pitchers. Let's see how this is gonna go. Will I make it or will I not? It's been a little bit easier to pour with this bigger pot since there's more room between the soap and the top of the pot. Okay, I'm going to put these off to the side and come back to them in just a bit. And now I'm going to add in the fragrance. This container is quite full. And I do have it split off, separated for the different parts. This is just a really pretty fragrance of, it's like a fruit medley and some pine. Really nice. A lot of the reviews said that it does not discolor and said that it's also a lovely fragrance all year round, and I can definitely get that. Now this is kind of taking over for Holly Jolly this year. I was not able to get Holly Jolly, and I debated changing the scent for Holly Jolly and still doing the holly, but based on the fact that I don't really like piping holly and I'm a little behind for this year, I decided I would just skip it for this year and we'll just do a little something different. I was looking for something more fresh, but this is a nice solution for this year. It's pretty fruity. Drives me nuts when it does that. Come on now. So it's quite thin, which I do need it to be thin for my design. And it's also going to take me a moment to get this poor thing scraped out. So into these parts, I'm going to do red and green. And that's Trial by Fire Mica. That's pretty much what I'm using nowadays for my reds. I like it better than the really red even. And I'm going to put in the fragrances. Let's give these a quick blend. Alright, so I'm just going to do a simple drop, swirl, pour, whatever they're calling it these days. I love this. I love that it's bringing up just a little bit of that whiter color just because it is a different consistency at this point. A little bit thicker. I move my whole body. Have you ever noticed that on these videos? My whole body goes with the pours. Whoa, I bumped. Oh boy. Well, that'll be an interesting loaf anyway. So I think I'll turn it around so that if I was a little heavy-handed on one end, it won't be heavy-handed twice. I have about half of the soap left still. I'm just gonna do it all over again. And with the red. Move up a little bit so it pours down in a bit more. Okay, come back in the middle just a little bit, just because a lot of it was there on the ends. That's getting pretty thick. I was trying to avoid that. I thought just some nice lines would be good. But I have plenty of soap left in here that I want to take care of. So I thought I would just give it a little bit of texture. It's getting a bit thick at this point, but I thought just a little bit of a swirl would look nice. I'm trying not to meet these edges, but I will probably come in and just add some loop-de-loos in between, just a little bit. When you meet up too much, it starts to like pull and you end up having this like smeary line. But I'm obviously not staying far enough away. Oh, this is so pretty. It smells so good. There's so much soap here. I certainly feel like I don't have as much time to work with these large batches. It just takes so much time to pour and scrape. Now my goggles are all fogged up, so if it looks weird, I'm blaming it on the goggles. So, I am a little bit of an over swirler. That's just who I am. But I also can see that the individual bars are just going to be so gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just add a little bit of a iridescent with some gold shimmer to it. Well, maybe it's not even iridescent. Is it called iridescent? It's just a gold, kind of like white with a gold shimmer. I always think of iridescent, I guess, more as the rainbow colors, and this one does not have rainbow colors, so this feels like it needs that hint of sparkle on the top. Okay, so here we have Mistletoe Kisses, and I'll see you back here for the cut. It's time to cut the mistletoe soap, and I think that top turned out so pretty. Almost makes me think of poinsettias, so I don't know. I probably should rename it to a poinsettia soap. It smells so good. It's just kind of like fruity, but a hint earthy at the same time. I don't really know how to explain the scent, but it's gorgeous. At first, I wasn't quite sure what to think about it. I wasn't sure if this was really my style of a scent. I'm like, well, I don't know what all the fuss is all about. But now I am loving it. It's not in the same range as my Holly Jolly as far as like earthy and, you know, floral type, but it's just a sweet, gosh, I can't really explain. I'll have to put the description up for it. I love how the drop swirl turned out. That one's a little thick on this end. Looks like it did okay. It's still a little bit, a hint yellow from the cocoa butter that I'm using. I feel like I did not cut that well. I probably better check my strings again. Oh my goodness. Look at it. Ah, thank you. You're so nice. Oh, you're cute. I like you. Wow. I'm just loving it. Loving it. I just had such a thrill. I mean, I've already cut all these other bars, but I had such a thrill with that bar. I don't know what it is. It'll just welled up inside me. And I went, hallelujah, you know? Feels good. I don't usually want to look at it more myself than show you guys. I love it. This top. I thought I'd worked it up. I really did. It's always fun to design new soaps too, you know? Like, I kind of switched things up a little bit this year. We have a lot of returns. And of course, I'm saying this prior to the release. So who knows when this is going up and what the status will be of the release and all that at this point. But I tried to bring back a lot of favorites, but I also went with some new this year also. And this is one of them. Now I realize this is my biggest batch, which I usually get like 77, 78 bars because I cut at 1.25. But I noticed that some of my samples that my husband, he actually cut most of them. Did he cut them? I do not remember. I feel like I did it. Nope, he did it. He cut the bars. I lined them up on the tray. So he managed to cut them so that we got like 81 bars out of the batch. I don't rightly know how that happened, but he probably should be the one cutting the bars so we don't waste quite as much. But then the samples don't really end up very sampley, if that makes sense. I like a little thicker sample piece. I'm having to shimmy these up because it's not all going to fit on this tray. What's going on over here? Makes me think when I worked in a daycare / school and everybody had to just line up. Everybody just line up and it's easy. Just do it. You see his are some, he managed to cut those quite a bit different than I did. Mine are a little bit on the thicker side, which I like because then I can send out more samples. Sometimes if you cut them too thin, and it's not happening on these ones, but sometimes if you cut these too thin, they will curl. Whoa, they will curl up, and then they're not very usable if you ask me. All right, I need to leave this open. I'm gonna cut this one in half. The key is holding it and then grabbing it again. I still didn't do a very good job. I am not the precision cutter that my husband is. But we gotta cut some on video. I've always been pretty particular, but my husband's actually a little bit more particular when it comes to soap cutting. So that's why he seems to get it done just a hair better than I do. I did not show you this top, but I want to show you this top because I feel like it's a hint different. This one I think has a little bit more green on it. So pretty. So pretty. I like that the color on the top is intense, but then the rest of the bar is not. Alright, let's go like this. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can channel my husband here. Oh, squeaky. Wow. Okay, let's try this. It's always good to get more bars out of a batch. Looking good, soapies. I actually can't believe I just said that. My husband called him soapies once, and I was like, don't do that again. That's just not my thing. I don't like to refer to these as soapies, but I just did it, so I don't know. What's going on? All right, let's see. You know what? Maybe he's doing, wow, that's just like barely. I don't think I can do that. We'll try. Let's try it. Eeks. Eeks. Oh, I don't think it's gonna work. Okay, well, that is super thick, so maybe we can work something out there. So I guess I can put these in here. Oh, this one's cool. It's actually a little bit of a longer drop instead of more like a drippy top. If that makes sense. Nice. I'm having a soap cutting marathon today. I have 2 more to go on video. Okay, so there we have it. Nice. Nice, nice. So here we have this super duper nice tray of soap. I'm going to have to see if I can find a home for these guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.